Good evening from South Africa, and welcome to episode 52, not 51, as I wrote on the YouthForce Racing page of Velospitty Speed Talk. Our episode is entitled L Cool Lash, and that's because our guest is László Lőrinc from Slovakia. László, good evening. Thank you and welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, everybody from Slovakia, and thank you, Tinus, for your invitation.
All right. Now, you came to our attention. All right. You've always been in our attention. You're a very active member of the YouthForce Racing group. And you had some big news that broke this week. So tell us a little bit about your news.
Yeah, thank you so much. Overall, I joined the First Bike Academy team for 2024 in the Junior GP Moto 3 World Championship. And I'm very stoked and happy about that I can compete on this level.
Yeah, of course, the FIM Junior GP is it's a huge series. It's a stepping stone series, just one level below Moto 3 World Championships. So, of course, and most of those races are in Spain. Now, you've attended some races there. You've done some European Championship, European Talent Cup races there. So tell me what you know about the series and what you think of the level of the series there.
Yeah, in 2023, I competed in the European Talent Cup with the 455 Thai racing team. It's really nice and competitive series, basically the toughest one on the world. Last year, basically, I started to know the tracks more properly. I visited all the 7 rounds, and the atmosphere and the paddock is really nice and good. So I'm really stoked about this.
Let me get back. All right, sorry, I just lost myself on the stage. Of course, the level is very high. It's you have to qualify to be in those races, and it's a really tough series. And the Junior GP, the Moto 3 class, is even one step higher. You have guys that from there go straight to Moto 3 World Championships and do really, really well. Angel Piqueras, who dominated there, is going to the Moto 3, and in the tests he already showed that he's going to be a serious guy. Who are the guys that you saw in European Talent Cup and Moto 3 that really impressed you so far?
Yeah, of course, I can name Maximo Quiles, also Guido Pini, Rico Salmela, Brian Uriarte. These are really fast guys, and they also throw the hammer down really early, so we can hear a lot about them. And I think they are the main competitors in the next few years in the Moto 3, Moto 2, and the GP class.
Yeah, of course, these are all guys that we know. Maximo is a previous interviewee in this program, and Rico Salmela from Finland that you mentioned. I actually invited Rico to the Motocross Junior World Championship in Finland in Vantaa in 2022, and we invited him to the track. And Brian Uriarte, of course, is also good. And then, of course, from South Africa, Rushay Moodley, who's also moving up to your class. In fact, I think he did one or two of the races already because he was injured and he missed the end of the ETC. So I think he's fully preparing for that. Now, this is a very tough class, a really tough class. You said it. These are top guys. What are your objectives? What do you hope to achieve starting?
Yeah, basically my goal is to progress and get further like this year, because it's my first year with the Moto 3 and in the category. So it will be a tough one, but I want to progress as much as I can, and we can see how it goes. Hopefully the best way I can.
Oh, sorry. I missed
Yeah,
myself. Sorry. And this is my assistant that did that. This is my parrot. Yours, he muted me, and I didn't notice. So what I said is, you've got some comments already from Bike Addicted fan, and some in your own language there. So thank you very much for the viewers and everybody that joined. Now, you mentioned you're joining this the Junior GP, and you mentioned your team. I think it's a team from France, correct?
yeah, it's correct. French team.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the team and how you got the deal with this team.
First of all, greetings to Bike Addicted Fan. I just joined the team at the end of December. Like, we made further contract, and we started to speak at the last round in Valencia. I went to their track and we started to negotiate about next year's deal. What are the possibilities? And at the end, we made the conclusion, and I'm happy that I can join this nice and family hosted team. The atmosphere was really nice for the first touch, and they were really supportive and straight up.
All right, that's fantastic. And did you get to test the bike already and familiarize yourself with the setup that they have?
No, I didn't had the possibility yet to test, but I think in March we can make the first contract together.
All right. You say in March. When does the season actually kick off?
The first round is in April, in the middle of April at Misano. So we have basically 3 months there, and I'm really looking forward to ride at the track because it's one of my old dreams to ride there.
Yeah, Misano. It's normally, I mentioned that Junior GP is normally always happens in Spain, maybe in Portimao in Portugal, but now this time they're going to Misano, which is an Italian track, and I think a home track for Dodo Boggio. So I think he will be happy about that thing. Have you've never raced at Misano? I take it then.
No, I haven't raced ever in Misano, but I was there for my trophy ceremony in 2021 for the Italian Junior Championship. So I have great memories from there.
Okay, Italian Junior Championship. We will get to where all you've raced, so that's one that I will want to remember. Now, about other championships, you also did the Northern Talent Cup, which is it's one of the stepping stone series, and I think a great development because it gave people from your region, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Germany, they didn't then need to travel to Spain or to the British Talent Cup or so. So what are your feelings and what was your experience in the Northern Talent Cup?
Yeah, I joined the Northern Talent Cup in 2021. It was like my first year on big circuits, and I really enjoyed the whole season. I learned and progressed a lot. So I'm really happy about the championship. It makes a great opportunity for a lot of young riders from Central and Northern Europe. This is an opportunity that we missed for a long time, but we at the end received what is needed here. And it's really a great stepping stone to progress to the rookies or to the FIM Junior GP, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will get to the rookies in a bit. And you mentioned riders like from Czech Republic. I know another good supporter of our group is Nicky Zanin. He's from Czech Republic. I don't know if you know Nicky, but he actually went and attended some of the Northern Talent Cup races, and he met Rossi Moore and Kevin Farkas, maybe yourself, and Pomara and all these guys. So yeah, that was I think a good learning, and it motivated him. And tell me, the fight between Pomara and Sessler this year, how did you see that rivalry, and how the title actually was decided at the end?
Yeah, I really was impressed about all the fight and all of the season because it was really tough between them. I'm pretty happy for both of the guys because I both know them and they're really great guys. At the end, Rocco won the title. I'm really happy, and I think he really impressed me at the last round because he was really consistent and straight up he went for it and he got what he wanted. But also Lennox showed great potential the whole season, and I think it was nice from both of them.
Yeah, actually, Lennox had, because Rocco had a mistake in one of the races, and Lennox had he had a big lead, and then Lennox had a mistake in the next race, and I think that is where the championship was a little bit problematic for him. Let me put my teeth back in and say the word properly. Tell me, you mentioned the rookies. You got the selection once to go and try it for the rookies before, isn't that right?
Yeah, basically it was in 2021 where I would be attended, but at the end they canceled the event, so there was no chance for it. But I was pretty stoked to be on the list. At the end, I didn't made it in, but it was like nice thing from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Let me get myself back. Yeah, absolutely. It was. I mean, just to be selected for the selection event, because it's 100 and something riders, so it's a very, very tough selection event, and to eventually make it to rookies is a great thing, you know, and it's a great honor. So tell me, you have quite a lot of comments there. There was somebody else that made a comment there. I don't know if you can follow the comments as well. But in any case, I did, like I say, I didn't have much time to prepare for us, but I did have a short time to prepare just a little short video featuring some of your footage. So let's get the popcorn and have a look at that, and then you can tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, mama left with shoes untied so she could teach me how to fall. Her daddy left when she wasn't shy to trade love for some alcohol. He got it from his grandmama who was passing down trauma from her deadbeat-in-law, who was raised by a man with 2 bruised hands. You ask me, this is all his fault. Post-it note on the door saying that we're through. And by the time that I woke up, she was halfway to the moon. I counted money in my wallet, I found out that I'm adopted and both my balls are blue. The gas price got high and so did I. You asked me, Mary, it's cause of you. Shit. Here I stand, more of a boy, and less of a man. Now I'm back to square one, where I live. I'm the chin, I learned to wear one with a grin.
So there's a really short clip. I will put that clip also on YouTube, so you can share it with whoever you like to, with if you like. And there's a couple of things to unpack from that clip. One thing that struck me is the photo there of you and Kevin Farkas and Rossi Moore, the Hungarians, and you explained to me that you have some Hungarian roots as well, correct?
Yeah, it's correct. Like we used to train together and we had a good friendship overall, so I'm good with all these guys.
Yeah, and of course both of those guys did really, really well. They fought for the title in European Talent Cup. Rossi took it in the end. Then he had a bad wrist injury and it was almost career ending, and now he's racing in the States and quite well. And of course Kevin got selection to the Rookies Cup, and he was in the points. He got himself in the points, and also I think made his way to Spain. Now back to you. You've now mentioned before the junior in Italy. Did you do any CIV races in Italy?
Yeah, I did in 2021 the junior CEV championship with the oval GP to 190. Basically, it was my first year international with the mini bikes as well, and I had a couple of podiums, two of them, one in Adria and one in Pomposa, and I scored a third position overall in the championship. So it was a pretty amazing and successful year for me.
All right. Well, that is great. The Vali, did they have in those years already the FIM Mini GP Championship, the finals or not?
Yeah, in 2021 there was the first official series for the 160, and one
Yes.
of my teammates classified there through the Alpe Adria. So shout out to him as well.
All right. Yeah, Alpe Adria is it's a very competitive series, and and I see it come past always. A lot of riders from Alpe Adria, and I think they make it a lot. Let's just get back to the issue with the Hungarian riders, because you have yourself, well, you're Slovakian, and we'll get back to that. And Kevin and Rossi and other riders coming through. And also in motocross, you have guys like Ben Spergel and Aron Katona, who was a junior world champion some years ago. So what is Hungary doing right at the moment that there's all this talent coming?
Yeah, I basically think there are so many riders, and we can make some good groups and good trainings together, and we can develop from one to each other, and we can help each other as well. So I think it's pretty a good benefit for all of them and for me as well, because we can make good trainings together and help each other in every aspect.
Yeah, of course, that's good. Now let's get back to your own country, to Slovakia. What is the scene like there, the racing? What are the opportunities in both road racing and motocross? Because you mentioned that you do some motocross training. So what is the racing scene like over there?
Yeah, basically the scene is pretty disappointing because there are not many riders, like also just a few of them, and we have some limited track times and limited tracks because we have only one big track and 3 or 4 small karting tracks. And basically this sport is not in the center of eye for a lot of guys, so just basically the super fanatic guys do this, and there is not a point to get to this sport from media or any other streaming channels, because you don't really hear about this in our country.
Yeah, this is important what you mentioned, because when you don't hear about it, it's also difficult to get the sponsorships, because people aren't aware. And I mean, there's you now. You make it. You're getting into really the international scene in a big way. But if you don't get the media coverage, it's very difficult to find sponsors. So what is the situation like with you with sponsorships and support?
Yeah, the support and the sponsorships are very limited, so you need to really get off with that. Try to get the most of the media coverage or newspapers or some stuff to promote you, because otherwise it's really a hard thing to get there. And I think this is the most important factor for the riding, the funding and all the support. So yeah, it's not easy in any other Central European country, I think. So it's always a basic problem.
Yeah, and of course, where you're going to participate now it's not cheap. Firstly, you have the travel. You've got to go to Spain. How many rounds are there this year? 6 normally, right?
Yeah, we have 7 rounds. Like before, it was 8 with the Junior GP, but now they reduced to 7.
Yeah, so it's always a travel. Okay, once to Italy and then mostly to Spain, which is a big travel. But I guess if the bike is there, you can fly. And so, but also I mean, to get the seat in Junior GP, it's not cheap, and the other expenses. So, who, in your particular instance, who helps you the most to get the budget together?
Basically, the biggest supporter of me is my family, so shout out to them. And also, I have few smaller sponsors, so I can thank to them as well.
Yeah, of course. You always get the people that are huge supporters and fans of the sport, and then to get the involvement with you. Now we spool back a little bit. We spoke about your Ovale times and so on. How did you actually start with racing? Because we've now established it's not the mainstream sport where you're from. So how did this actually start for you?
Yeah, basically it started off with my family. My father was always a big fan of bikes. He was always around them. And my mother also rode on the streets. So I come basic from a motorcycle family. I was always at the track from small age because my father also participated on track days and he rode often his bike. So I was there from a very young age and I really like it. So at the end, I started go-karting and it was manageable like till 14. And after all, I wanted to switch to the two wheels. And basically, at the end, I got my permission. So I started off with the bikes in 2020.
Oh, wow. So that's not that long ago. It's only a very short time that you've been on bikes, and that's so your progress has been really good. And two riders I notice are yourself and Vasilis Panteliakis, the guy from Greece, also from a country the way racing is, I don't think, a huge thing, and also has to travel huge distances. And I have respect for you guys because you just keep going, and and working at it until you get into the field, and there you go. You've got the seat now for Junior GP. So shout out to you for that. Now, you mentioned before you did some motocross training. So tell us a little bit about your off-road training.
Yeah, basically my off-road training starts in October as last year as well because we have some colder temperatures here and that's the most manageable option because of the cold asphalt and the snow and stuff. That's the basically the best option to ride out and we have some good tracks nearby around the corner, so gotta use out this opportunity.
Yeah, I think there probably more opportunity for motocross tracks than road racing probably. And do you ever go to Czech Republic to train? I mean, historically your countries were linked, but I don't know what the distances are involved because there's some iconic road racing tracks there as well.
Yeah, we used to visit also Czech Republic. I think my most favorite track is there, Brno and Most. And also we used to visit some smaller tracks, just steering in Trinec. Yeah, I feel like all of these tracks. They are a bit more far away, but it's really kind and fun for training.
All right. Now, of course, everybody's objective is to make it to World Championship stage, and one of the great ideas with Junior GP and Rookies Cup is to have them compete with other series. So with the Northern Talent Cup, you competed with, for instance, with the IDM, with the German Championships, and in some rounds, I think with the GP guys, maybe Essen and before Le Mans or whatever. And what was your feeling to be on that stage to race where these guys are?
Yeah, we had 3 rounds basically in 2021 with the MotoGP. It was Le Mans, Sachsenring, and Essen. To be honest, firstly, when we arrived to Le Mans, it was a pretty special feeling to be there, isn't it? It's like the whole world before you. You got a lot of spectators. Also, the paddock is really professional by the Dorna stuff and thing. So I was pretty stoked to compete there, and it was a good experience for sure.
Yeah, and I think that was the one of the very, very few rounds where you guys and the Rookies Cup competed at the same time. Was that around where they were at as well?
Yeah, at the Sachsenring we had the opportunity to compete with the rookies at the same time. It was also a good inspiration, like you see the next step before you, and it's a pretty special thing, I think.
Yeah, and in your mind of minds, do you still see an opportunity to get an invitation to Rookies Cup for you, or because once you're in Junior GP, that's already one step past already, because now you firmly on the way to Moto 3 if you're successful. So what is your strategy with that?
Yeah, basically, sadly, I don't really see an objective with the rookies because I'm too old for that. Last time when I could participate for the selection event would be in 2023, but I didn't really made it in for the selection. So it's just a plan to hopefully continue in the Junior GP and make some impact there.
Yeah, and of course, okay. Now we mentioned the Junior GP. It's 6-7 rounds, which is it's a lot, but not a lot of racing. Is there any other racing that you're planning, maybe on a 600 or something like that?
Basically, no. I just plan this Junior GP for the whole year, and some other trainings at home is the main series to compete in.
Okay, no, the reason why I'm asking is, I see often, I think Kevin Farkas has been on a 600, maybe even Rico Solmella. I see so many guys, tiny little guys. I mean, they must be flying like a flag behind the bike, getting on the 600. But of course, the 600 has a different kind of power delivery, and you learn to slide the bike and everything like that. Now, talking about sliding a bike, do you train sometimes on a supermoto bike apart from motocross as well?
Yeah, for sure. I do pretty often the supermoto training. I have a 450 Husqvarna, and I do it on the small tracks at home. And I also joined the 600 last year. I started to train with it at the small track as well. So I try to prepare with these bikes, and also the Ovale GP2 is a good thing to train with.
Yeah, and because those Ovales are, I mean, they're small, but they're fast bikes and they're proper race bikes. And I think you learn a lot of racecraft with that. Now, we mentioned now you haven't been racing long. Do you have a trainer, or how did you pick up the skills, or is it everything self-taught?
Yeah, basically, I have my father by my side. He's my mechanic, my trainer, my supporter. So he's the most special one here with me. And I also had some help from other riders. So I'm pretty glad about that.
Yeah, because that's important, and also, I mean, I can see you observe well. So when you're at the race and at MotoGP or Moto3 or watching the races, you see and look and see what the other riders do. And you mentioned some of the young riders like Maximo Quiles, Angel Piqueras that I mentioned, Rico Solmella. These are all guys that are going to make it into Moto3 without a doubt. So just by following that, I think there's a lot to follow. Now, talk about MotoGP. Obviously, you're a fan of the racing. Is there any particular rider? What do you feel about how the championship happened? Who is a favorite, and that inspires you?
Yeah, basically, I think all of the field is pretty good. Like they are the fastest riders of the world, so they all know what they do, and they are all great. But to mention, I think the favorite one, the most of the favorite for me is Marc Marquez. He's an unbelievable rider and guy, I think. So for me, he's the favorite one.
Yeah, and it's interesting now. Marquez has switched to Ducati, and I think everybody is really nervous because already in the test in Valencia, he showed he's comfortable with the bike, and interesting. Of course, Marquez he opened a management company called Vertical, and the first rider that he signed was Maximo Quiles. So Maximo Quiles is being managed by Marc Marquez. So Marc obviously sees something in Maximo. So what do you think of the switch that Marquez went to Ducati, but Luca Marini, who's the half brother of Valentino Rossi, now went to Honda? Do you have thoughts about that move?
Yeah, basically from both sides, I think it was a pretty nice and smart move. By the side of Marquez, I think for surely he will make an impact this year and he will show his potential again. And from Luca, also he did a pretty smart and good decision because it's a factory team, and I see some potential in Honda. He also showed a good pace at the first test, so both of the guys I think will be an interesting and good charge for the next season.
I think that's a great comment that you made there. A great comment, and Luca, of course, financially going to Honda because Honda is desperate for results. So I'm pretty sure they would have robbed the piggy bank to give him something proper, to get him to come across. Now, you said you train motocross. Do you also follow motocross racing at world level or any other level?
Yeah, of course. I also follow the Motocross World Championships and also the AMA Supercross.
Yeah, and the Supercross kicked off last weekend, and Jet Lawrence was he was good. I think they need to put an anchor on his bike, otherwise the other guys won't catch him because now he's got a little bit of confidence. Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he was stunning for sure. He has a lot of talent and he's a pretty smart and good rider. I think he really knows what he does.
Yeah, but also notable, you have ex-Europeans like Dylan Ferrandis that switched to Honda. He did pretty well. And then, of course, everybody was looking Jorge Prado, the first Supercross straight into the 450s. And I think he did pretty. I mean, he was in the points. He qualified directly, and I think it was a good outing for him. I'm surprised his team allowed him to do this because he's got the world title to defend, and the risk of getting injured in Supercross is high. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, first of all, he didn't really know the whole country and the track, so everybody unknown there. But I think he did pretty decent, and also it's an interesting move from them. But I think they have a plan, so they obviously know what are the risks and the chances as well.
Yeah, because look, Prado he's also still quite a young guy. I mean, everybody's focusing on Jet, but Prado is still also only just 23 or so. And of course, if he reclaims the world title and has proven that he can do something with Supercross, there are massive contracts waiting for him in the States if that is indeed what he wants to do. Now, this year is going to be strong in MXGP because Tim Geiser is back and fit. Romain Fevre and Sewer has moved to Kawasaki, and Prado. So we're looking at a strong season, and also Jago Geers from MX2, who is the unluckiest guy in the world, like second in the world. And last year, I mean, he broke his arm, came back to getting to the lead, and then had a crash with Hakon Osterhagen I think in Finland, and again fell out. But I think he'll be really motivated for MXGP. Do you follow MX2 as well, and the Europe and the EMX, the other classes?
No, I just follow the main class and also the Supercross, so I just know about them. I know pretty small amount from the other smaller categories, sadly, but I plan to observe these smaller categories as well soon.
Yeah. So what we will do for you, because one of the objectives of YouthForce Racing was to get a connection between road races, motocrosses. That was one of the reasons why I created the group. So what we will do, if it's not on a racing weekend for you, there's an annual GP at Loket in Czech Republic. And Loket is near Karlovy Vary, or Carlsbad, as they say. And what's special about Loket is it's also the final round always of the EMX 85, the 85cc, So you have 1 to 5s, 250 European Championships, and then the MX2, which is the World Championship, and MXGP. It's a great race to go to. So we'll arrange for you to go and to meet some of the riders there. I think that would be a great outing, right?
Yeah, that would be a pretty nice opportunity. I would love to do that.
Yeah, that's great. I think I can't remember Philip Salatz, because I discussed with him once to do that as well, but I don't know if, because I didn't arrange that with him. But look, he's Czech, so I don't know if he's ever been to the Czech GP. And by the way, Philip Salatz he's taken the seat of Sam, the Brit, on the VDS seat. So he's on a good bike now, but he had ups and downs, but he's been on the box. So who do you rate in Moto 2 this year coming up?
Yeah, obviously Philip is a really talented and good guy. Him that he managed to get the seat. I think he's for sure for the charge for the crown. And also Fermin, Alonso. There are a lot of good and talented fast guys. Also Jake Dixon from the UK.
Yes.
There is a lot of talent in that category, so I think it will be really tough this year.
Yeah, because there's also some Moto3 guys coming up, and you mentioned Fermin, and I've been following that guy since he was Moto2 European Championship in the same series that you race, and I thought this guy is a little bit special, but you couldn't really, because the class isn't so deep in Moto2 European, so you knew he was winning and Alonso was winning, but you didn't know exactly how he would be. But when you saw him against Tulovic, who's a GP rider, he's got it. And the last GPs, I mean, Aldeguer, look, I think Pedro Acosta he was already banking the check and looking at MotoGP, but Aldeguer was unstoppable last GPs. What do you think of his end of the season?
Yeah, like the end of the season, the last 5 or 6 races, it was amazing. Like he really went for that. He just went and he got the pole position, some third place, but after he just won 3 or 4 times, I'm not sure, and he got a lot of pole positions. At the end, he also scored the third overall from Jake, so it was
just took
huge.
it away from Jake in the last round. Yeah. So it's crazy how that happened. But of course, but it's good that you observe this, because we bring this back to you, and you follow these guys and you follow their career trajectory, and of course this motivates you because your story is special. You come from a non-traditional racing country. I think the struggle is bigger for you, so again, respect for that. Now, you've made the news now, obviously, you've raced internationally, you've been in Northern Talent Cup, you've been in ETC. What is the media coverage that you get locally? I mean, not nationally, but locally in your area, and what do your school friends say about what you do?
Yeah, basically the media coverage is not big one here, but in the last couple of weeks, I just got some articles in the newspaper and also some articles on the internet, and it's getting like more spectacular now, and more often they hear my name, so it's pretty special, and I'm happy for that. So from school, it's pretty interesting because I don't really say anything about my racing and stuff, so they don't really know a lot about that. But at the end, if you look at Instagram or Facebook, you can get some information.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because we want to point people to where they can follow you and learn more about you. So where can people learn about you? And you've got your own private Facebook profile, but you also have a page and an Instagram. So where can people find you?
Yeah, they can find me on the Instagram with the name of Lasser Lőrinc 19 and on Facebook with the name László Lőrinc. It's an official Facebook page of mine, so you can follow me up there.
All right. So that's fantastic. Now, why means? Well, I mentioned the school, and when you were talking about that, I remember Johnny Garnes. He's a British Talent Cup guy, very, very talented guy. He was champion not last year before, and running away. He had a very serious accident while training in Spain, but they ran a little feature on him, and his principal of his school found out. They learned that he was racing and he was British champion, and they made really a big fuss about him and gave him special time off and everything. So yeah, I hope that you get that same kind of recognition where you are. Now, when you go to race in Spain, you fly down, you go down on because it starts already on Friday. So what's your schedule like when you go to a junior GP race?
Yeah, basically it starts off with the plane. We usually go with the airplane to Spain because it's pretty long distance to do with the car. We usually used to travel at the morning of Thursday because we have some track walks and scheduled things with the team on Thursday. So it's a pretty long journey because we usually take off at 3:50 in the morning. So it starts very early, but at the end we make it there, and on Thursday the official action starts with the testing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wish you every luck for the season. We will surely follow and hope to do a positive follow up with you sometime really during the season. And of course, we'll keep posting. We'll keep posting for you during the season, on your progress and how things are going. And thank you again for joining us. It's been great to speak to you, and your little video that I made for you, I will upload on YouTube. So I will give you the link in a short while so you can share it. Also, this interview is on YouTube and on the YouthForce Racing page. It always stays there so people can watch it again.
Thank you for your invitation. I'm glad I could be here, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So we'll play out with László's video, and then there's a lot coming up on Velospitty. We've got a couple of interviews lined up, 2 from South Africa, both of them with a sportsman or an athlete named Leighton, but with 2 wildly different disciplines that they do: a car racer, BMW M2 Cup racer, and a motocross racer. We've got something lined up in the music world from America, so that's going to be exciting. Something from Spain, so we're going to get real busy. Supercross again coming up this weekend, and keep watching YouthForce Racing, and we will then give you the updates on what's upcoming. And again, László, thank you very much for joining us, and from me, Tina Snell, until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Yeah. Mama left with shoes untied so she could teach me how to fall. Her daddy left when she wasn't shy to trade love for some alcohol. He got it from his grandmama who was passing down trauma from her deadbeat-in-law, who was raised by a man with 2 bruised hands. You ask me, this is all his fault. Post-it note on the door saying that we're through. And by the time that I woke up, she was halfway to the moon. I counted money in my wallet, I found out that I'm adopted and both my balls are blue. The gas price got high and so did I. You asked me, Mary, it's 'cause of you. Shit.